Here we are at chance and data. We're going to try another probability tree problem. We're going to do number 6 on page 25. So thanks for watching, Francis. Here we go. A recent survey showed that 80% of students use Facebook and 30% use Twitter. Complete your own probability tree for this situation. Okay, so what we got to do here is, in this area here, is where we're going to write the events. So we'll call this one Facebook here, and we'll call over here Twitter. And then we're going to put in some probabilities, so for different outcomes. So let's call this yes for Facebook, and this no. Same over here. We'll have a yes here, and a no here, and a yes here, and a no here. And now for our probabilities, we'll go up to the text of the problem. It says 80% use Facebook, so that's going to be yes. So that's going to be a 0.8 here. And that means if 80% or 0.8 use it, that means 20% or 0.2 do not. So that's what goes down here. Okay, over on the Twitter side, 30% use Twitter. So that means we're going to have a 0.3 right here. And if 30% use it, that means 70% don't. And the decimal equivalent of that is 0.7. Okay, our probabilities are going to be the same down here, 0.3 and 0.7. Now all we got to do is multiply these probabilities across. This first one is going to be the probability that they use Facebook and Twitter. And we're going to multiply the 0.8 times the 0.3. 0.8 times 0.3 gives us 0.24. Okay, let's keep going. On the second line here, we've got the probability. They use Facebook, but not Twitter. The way you'll often see that written in the probability notation is with this prime symbol like that. How this reads is Facebook and not Twitter. So we're going to have a 0.8 times a 0.7. That gives us 0.56. Okay, next one, probability. It's not Facebook, and yes to Twitter. So that's going to be 0.2 times 0.3. And that gives us 0.06. And the last one is the probability, not Facebook and not Twitter, like me. And that's going to be 0.2 times 0.7. That gives us 0.14. Now, one thing you always want to do when you finish these probabilities is add them up and make sure you're accounting for all the outcomes. If you are, these are definitely going to all add up to 1. So let's see, we got 80 there and 20 there, just like we should have, 0.8 and 0.2, which adds up to 1. So that's a good sign. All right, now let's look at some questions. The probability that a student uses both Facebook and Twitter. Okay, which one of these is that over here? Well, if you look at the notation, we got yes Facebook, yes Twitter. So that means this one is looking for this probability right here, 0.24. Okay, B. What percentage of students uses just one of the services? All right, so if you look at the second row here, they use just Facebook but not Twitter. So we want that one. And the next one down here, they don't use Facebook, but they do use Twitter. So both of these probabilities would fall into the category of using just one of the services. So we'd have to add up 0.56 and 0.06, and that would give us 0.62. Now be careful here in the wording. They don't want the probability, they want the percentage. So make sure you write down your number as a percentage and not as a decimal probability. So our answer here is 62%. Okay, in a school with 822 students, how many would be expected to use Twitter? All right, well, let's just go right up to the text of the problem here. 30% use Twitter. So all we got to do is do 822 times 0.3. And so let's go to our calculator here. 822. That's too many twos. 822 times 0.3. 246.6. I'm going to round to 247. Okay, D. In the same school, how many would be expected to use neither service? Okay, so neither service, that's represented by this notation right here. No to Facebook and no to Twitter. And the corresponding probability is 0.14. So we've got to take 0.14, multiply by the 822. Let's see what we get. 0.14 times 822. My 2 is sticky. 0.14 times 822. And I got 115. 115, that would be expected to use neither. Just like me. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you soon.